Mr. President, it's good to see you again after so long. I think it's been 2 days. And when I saw you emerge from Air Force One today, I thought two things. One, it's a lot easier to run downstairs if you're not wearing high heels. And two, whilst I've been counselled by the Chief of our Air Force about making this statement, I'm going to do it anyway. Our Air Force plane made it back from Hawaii to Australia before Air Force One. Now, that statement may not bear deep analysis, but I thought I should make it anyway. And Mr. President, I also wanted to say to you, we've been a little bit nervous about tonight because my partner Tim really got a talking to from the First Lady when we were in Hawaii. She said to him that you often don't eat because you are so focused on your work that you forget to eat, and she wanted to make sure that we fed you well in Australia. So the only answer to that was to ensure you had a hearty meal and to make sure that there were 600 to 700 witnesses so that Michelle will know that we have been feeding you well while you're here.
Our troops serving together in Afghanistan, our guys, the Americans, couldn't figure out why your guys were always talking about cheese all day long, morning, noon, and night. Why are the Aussies always talking about cheese? And then finally they realized it was their Australian friends just saying hello, just saying cheers. I know there's some concern here that your Australian language is being Americanized. So perhaps it's time for us to reverse the trend. Tonight, with your permission, I'd like to give it a whirl. I want to thank the Prime Minister for a very productive meeting that we had today. I think she'll agree it was a real chin wag. When Julie and I meet, we listen to each other. We learn from each other. It's not just a lot of ear bashing. That's a good one, ear bashing. I can use that in Washington. Because there's a lot of ear bashing sometimes.
As Prime Minister Gillard has said, watching the moon landing in 1969 convinced her that there was nothing that America and Americans could not achieve. The moon landing, sir, was special for me too. My teachers didn't think it was important enough to interrupt classes for. So I absconded to a friend's house to watch the broadcast. It was the only time in my life I ever wagged school, and I'd like to think that I did it for America. But for all the instinctive bonds, there can still be misunderstandings. On my first trip to the United States as a parliamentarian, the US Information Agency briefed my hosts that I was a ferocious Liberal and deeply anti-Republican, which meant that I spent most of the fortnight being introduced to communists.